Hello students, let us study electrolysis. Now, to understand electrolysis, let me first explain you with the help of activity series of metals. So here, first 5 highly reactive metals, then we have zinc, iron, lead, copper, mercury and silver. Now let us divide this activity series into 3 parts. First 5 highly reactive metals, then these are the less reactive metals and least reactive metals, right? So if we want to extract these metals from their ores, say rock salt or you can say bauxite. See, aluminium's most important ore is bauxite, sodium is rock salt, dolomite, all these metals. If we want to extract from their ores, then if we decompose, suppose a sodium chloride, if we start heating sodium chlorides, we will not get sodium and chlorine. So we have to pass electricity to decompose sodium chloride. Now here the bond is, these 5 metals are very reactive, so when they form any compound, the bond between them is very strong, so they will not decompose by heating. So we have to pass electric current, and by electrolysis only we can decompose these compounds. Okay, now these 4, if we want these metals from their ores, we have to use reduction method. So reduction of metal oxides are done by using reducing agents, and if we want these metals, simply by thermal decomposition we can extract metal from their ores, so by thermal decomposition, right? Now let us understand what is electrolysis. So if we want to extract sodium from sodium chloride, simply by heating it's not going to happen. So what is electrolysis? So electrolysis actually is a method which involves the study of, it is the, you can say it is the study of the methods, principles and reactions used in transforming electrical energy into chemical energy. So what happens when we pass current to a compound or a substance, that will decompose and a chemical reaction will take place. So electrolysis is is transformation of electrical energy into chemical energy. Now the word electrolysis is made up of 2 words. Okay, the electrolysis is made up of 2 words. So electro means flow of electrons. So with the help of this, the process takes place. So flow of electrons, and lysis means electro and lysis. So lysis means separating. So compound breaks down by passing electric current. See here, certain substances that allow, especially we say metals and alloys allow electric current to pass through them, and they are known as conductors. But some substances such as glass, rubber or non-metal, say sulfur, phosphorus, do not allow electric current to pass through them, and they are called insulators, or we can call them as non-conductors. Now let us understand the definition. Electrolysis is a decomposition of a chemical compound in aqueous and molten state. So when we will pass electric current to any compound, when the compound is in aqueous and in the molten state, and then we pass electric current, so what will happen? It will decompose. First dissociation will take place, sodium chloride, so it will dissociate into sodium ion and chloride ion. Then they will move to respective electrodes and the chemical reaction takes place. They will be converted into neutral atoms, right? And that is how, when sodium chloride decompose, suppose we say sodium, okay, we say sodium chloride, when it is in the molten or aqueous state, sodium chloride, suppose we say molten state, on passing electric current we get sodium and chlorine, right? and then we balance it. See, this is how electrolysis is. So it is the decomposition of a chemical compound in the aqueous and the molten state by the passage of a direct electric current, resulting in the discharge of ions as neutral atoms at the respective electrodes. Now all these terminology, electrodes, electrolyte, electrolytic cell, we will understand slowly step by step. So first let us understand what is electrolytic cell. See, this is an electrolytic cell, or you can also call it as voltmeter. So this cell in which the process takes place, the process of electrolysis takes place, a non-conducting vessel. This is a non-conducting vessel, consists of electrodes. So these two are electrodes. Okay, both these poles are electrodes, and in this we have electrolyte. Okay, so here we have electrolyte. Means suppose we want to do the electrolysis of sodium chloride. So sodium chloride is our electrolyte, and these two are electrodes. The electrode which is connected to the positive terminal of the battery is known as cathode, and the electrode connected to the negative terminal of the battery is known as cathode, and the connected with the positive terminal of the battery is known as anode. So here this is cathode and this is anode. These are electrodes. Electrodes are nothing but the conducting pole. This is a key switch, you can call it as. This is battery and a bulb. Okay, so this is electrolytic cell, a non-conducting vessel consisting of these two electrodes and an electrolyte here, whose electrolysis we have to do, and in which electrolysis takes place is called electrolytic cell or voltmeter. Now what let us say the electrodes. So electrodes, in this we have anode. Anode is the electrode which is connected to the positive terminal of the battery. Positive terminal of the battery. And cathode is the electrode. This is cathode connected to the negative terminal of the battery. Right. Then we have the anions and cations. You all know anions are negatively charged particles. So what happens, suppose we have sodium chloride in this as an electrolyte. So when the battery, this key is means connected here, when the switch is on, okay, then what happens over here, all positive ions will move towards cathode. These are cations, positively charged ions. They will move towards cathode. So positively charged will move towards cathode. Positively charged ions are known as cations. So cations will move towards cathode, and anions, here say negatively charged ions, are known as anions. These anions will get attracted towards anode. Anode is positive electrode. So oppositely charged will attract, and these anions are negatively charged. So anions will move towards anode and cations will move towards cathode. So this is how we have to remember. Anode, towards anode anions will get attracted, and towards cathode cations will get attracted, right? So cations and anions, right? Now let us understand some of the experiment and the explanation of that. So for that, here electrolytic dissociation of ionic compound. Now we need to understand, this is actually we want to understand about the electrolyte. So there are some experiments are there to understand this. So here electrolytic dissociation of ionic compound, for that sodium chloride, solid sodium chloride is a non-electrolyte. So it will not dissociate. So why it is not going to dissociate, let us understand. Let us take here one crucible, and we take here solid sodium chloride. Okay, and we take this electrodes, and suppose these electrodes are connected to the battery and the bulb is there. Okay, so let us have one here bulb is connected, and we have over here the battery. Okay, now in this we have solid sodium chloride, right? And we are connecting, we have all this bulb and the key and all this we have connected. So will this conduct electricity or not, that we have to understand. So we say that solid NaCl, solid sodium chloride has oppositely charged ions, okay, oppositely charged ions, right? For example, here we say this sodium and chloride ions. See, Na, in this we have to visualize this sodium chloride, and this is having, these are connected, oppositely charged ions are connected to each other. They are here held together, these ions are held together by strong electrostatic force of attraction. Strong electrostatic force of attraction is there between the ions, right? Now what happens here, because of this strong electrostatic force of attraction, ions are not free, or we can say ions are not mobile. So ions are not free to move towards, you can say, electrodes, and due to the absence of free ions, so we will say here absence of free ions. Due to the absence of free ions, NaCl does not conduct electricity. See, flow of current is because of free ions only, and because it is not having free ions, it will not conduct electricity. So solid sodium chloride is non-electrolyte and it will not conduct electricity, right? Now let us understand molten sodium chloride. So in this setup only, suppose we have a crucible and we have this electrodes over here, right, and solid NaCl, and in this bulb will not glow. Here let us understand what happens. Now we have here solid NaCl, right, solid sodium chloride in this crucible. We have seen it will not conduct electricity. So now what we will do is we will heat it very strongly. So on heating strongly, what happens? We have sodium chloride and solid sodium chloride. In this, ions are held together by strong electrostatic force of attraction. So what happens? Solid sodium chloride is an ionic compound, okay. So solid NaCl is an ionic compound, so ions are not free, right, and it has high melting point. High melting point is there, right? So what happens on heating strongly? When you heat it very strongly, what will happen? On heating strongly, the ions gain kinetic energy, right, and the bond becomes weak, because when you are heating it very strongly and the force of attraction is very high, but we have to heat it at its melting point, the force of attraction becomes weak, and then what happens? The ions will be free. So hence the ions become mobile and conduct electricity. So molten, or you can also call it as fused. So molten or fused sodium chloride conducts electricity, right? Now aqueous sodium chloride. So to understand aqueous sodium chloride is, means we take a beaker, and in this beaker suppose we have taken solid sodium chloride, okay, and solid sodium chloride, again oppositely charged ions are held together by strong electrostatic force of attraction. Now we add water. So you know that water is polar in nature. So water, in this, oxygen has partial negative charge and hydrogen has partial positive charge in it. So what happens over here is, on adding water, and water being polar in nature, so water is a polar solvent, we can say, okay. Polar solvent means having dielectric effect. So with a high dielectric effect it has. High dielectric effect means oppositely, it is this molecule has partial positive and negative charge developed on it, okay. So what happens in water? Each hydrogen atom develops a slight positive charge, partial positive charge, while the oxygen develops partial negative charge. So on adding water to this, what will happen? Oppositely charged ions get attracted towards each other, due to which NaCl dissociates into sodium ion and chloride ion, which move freely in solution, and it will conduct electricity. So ions are now free and ions are responsible for the conduction of electricity. So what is happening when you are adding water, and in this oxygen has partial negative charge, will attract sodium ion, and H plus ion will attract chloride ion. So oppositely charged ions are attracting each other and force of attraction becomes weak and these ions are free, and then it will conduct electricity. Now let us also understand this ionization of covalent compounds. See, we studied in chemical bonding chapter that covalent compounds are of two types, okay, polar and non-polar. Polar compounds will ionize on adding water, non-polar compounds will not ionize. So here we will say that polar covalent compounds like ammonia, HCl are non-electrolytes in gaseous state, but they will ionize in aqueous solution. In aqueous state, we can say, on adding water they will ionize. This we already studied in bonding chapter. So only polar covalent compound will ionize into ions, so the electrolysis of that is possible, right? So for example here, if we take HCl, now HCl, when it is in gaseous state, on adding water, what will happen? When we add water, it will break down into H plus and Cl minus ions, okay, and this H plus ions will not remain alone. So this H plus ions, when they combine with water, will form what? Hydronium ions, right? So this HCl, when you add water, we have here HCl. When you are adding water, we will get hydronium ions and chloride ions, right? So ionization will take place and then only it will conduct electricity. So in short, here if we want to do electrolysis, then the substance must be in the molten or in the aqueous state. Then and then only it will conduct electricity and we can perform electrolysis process. Thank you, students.